Hello, this is Bryan Emmert with WestCobb Alliance, Reece Nichols. Welcome to Southwest Missouri Joplin Real Estate Channel. Today we have a special guest, Johnny, with Here's Johnny's Inspection Services. Tell us a little bit about your business and how long you've been in business.
So I started inspections in 2020. Before that, I hung seamless gutters and I had a fall off of a ladder in 2020, hurt my back, had to find something quickly that I could apply my background with, which was mostly construction. So I jumped into the inspection business and haven't looked back.
What are the biggest issues you usually find in homes?
The most common bigger issues, it really depends on a lot of times the age of the home. So like if it's a pre-1960s home, I'm gonna find things like ungrounded wiring systems, fuses instead of switch breakers, outdated plumbing like cast or galvanized plumbing. On homes, whether newer or older things, the biggest red flags are always anything moisture related. So anything related to water, nothing destroys homes faster than water does. So things like roofing issues like loose or missing flashings, damaged shingles, a lot of times from tree branches that are overhanging roofs, leaky plumbing, things like that. Gutters that are oftentimes not installed correctly, whether they've got insufficient slope or they're missing downspout extensions or they don't have enough extensions, or they don't have enough downspouts, therefore they're overflowing. A lot of times negative drainage, so drainage that doesn't slope away from the home. So it holds water up next to the foundation, which can lead to structural movement, things like that. A lot of times deferred maintenance, missing caulking, things like that. So check around your windows and doors, because that's a lot of times where moisture gets in and starts to rot things out, and moisture also draws things like termites. So that's something to keep in mind, is make sure everything is properly painted, sealed, caulked correctly. Structural issues, so if you go into a house, first walk around it. If you see a bunch of cracks in the foundation that are especially not straight lines, but diagonal type cracking, that's more indicative of deflectional movement. If you also go into the house and the floors don't feel level and you start seeing cracks above doorways and windows, all of that combined can suggest that there's some possible structural issues, things like that. So those are some of the bigger things. I mean, there's a lot of things that I see all the time, but those are probably the big things. The number one though being moisture related issues.
Okay. How long does a home inspection take?
That depends on the inspector. The average inspector spends about 2 to 3 hours on an inspection. My average inspection is 3 to 4 hours. That is also based on if I write the report on site. I have two routines that I often use. I have a writing the report on site routine, which usually takes 3 to 4 hours. If I write the report off site, that can sometimes be a 2 to 3 hour inspection.
Okay. What does the inspection actually cover?
An average inspection covers the roof, the gutters, the exteriors, things like windows, siding, steps, railings, things like that. Interiors, structural systems, electrical systems, heating and air systems, plumbing systems, ventilation systems, insulation, and things like that.
Okay, what things are not covered in a standard inspection?
Things like that would be like a phase 2 chimney inspection, sewer scope inspections, radon testing, mold testing, termite inspections, pool inspections, things like that. Those are often side services that can be added. A lot of inspectors do offer those as extra ancillary services, but that's not generally included in a standard home inspection.
Should I be at the home inspection as a customer?
No! Just messing with you. That is a question that can be a little controversial depending on who you ask. So in the inspection community, about half of us will say we want you there, about half of us will say we don't want you there. I usually tell people this: if you're hiring a mechanic to work on your car, do you think he wants you to climb under the hood with him and stare at him and talk to him while he's trying to fix your car? No, because it's a distraction, and if you want him to do the best job possible, you need to be out of the way so that he can do the job and fully focus on it. I can tell you, I personally do my best work when I'm not trying to talk to somebody at the same time. So what I usually recommend, I do like clients to come by, but I prefer them to come by at the end so that I can talk to them, tell them, here's what's gonna be in your report, here's why this matters, here's why that matters. But while I'm going through a home, I like to be fully focused on that, and I will not be if you are there and I'm talking to you while I work at the same time. So if you want me to find as much as possible and miss as little as possible, it's best if you're not there while I'm doing the inspection.
How would you suggest a customer to choose a home inspector?
I would say to research your inspectors. A lot of times your realtor will give you a list of several of them. I would get online, look at their reviews, look at their websites. Every inspector, most of us have a website these days. Most of us have some reviews. Go through, read the reviews, and then call each inspector and have a list of questions of things that matter to you and ask them and kind of get a feel for every inspector. You know, some guys are very personable and they'll be able to talk to you and answer your questions and make you feel better about how they're going to approach it. Some guys, you may just get this feeling of, I don't think I like how he's going to handle my concerns. And so I would just have some research done ahead of time, and also have some questions prepared, and call each of us and ask us, how do you approach this, or how do you approach that, or I've had a bad experience in the past, how would you have handled this? Those are some questions you might be able to ask us to get a better feel for whether or not we're the right one for you.
Well, thank you very much for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to make a comment in the YouTube channel and we will get back with you on them. Please like and subscribe.